Rangers, but what about Leicester? That's because Leicester are reportedly going to sack Ruud van Nistelrooy after the 1st of July. We understand here at talkSPORT that the Foxes want to avoid firing two bosses in the same PSR year, having already sacked Steve Cooper to make way for Ruud van Nistelrooy. So here to go through it with us all is Leicester Till I Die podcast host, part of the talkSPORT fan network, Chris Forian. Hello Chris, how are you today?
Hi Chris.
I'm very well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me on. I thought I'd come on to The Voice for a moment there, but...
we will still hit the buzzer if we want to turn around. Listen...
he was desperate to hit the buzzer when you were singing there.
I would not have turned round, I tell you.
Oh, well, Chris, sorry, that's all we've got time for. Chris, listen, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you'll see that we've got quite the fan with us today. Your memorabilia background is absolutely stacked with Leicester bits and bobs. What's the best bit of memorabilia you've got there?
Oh,
your most prized possession?
You have to ask. It's got to be the Premier League trophy, hasn't it?
I mean, it looks the part. Is it worth anything?
Probably not. No, probably not even worth as much as I paid for it. But I don't care. It's memories. It'll never happen again.
Seems a long time ago now, Chris, doesn't it?
It does.
Very long time. But look, as I was saying the other day to a mate, if you'd said sort of 11 years ago, look, you're going to go up, you're going to do a great escape, then you're going to go on and win the Premier League, you'll get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, semi-finals of the Conference League, into Europe 2 years running, you'll win the FA Cup, which we had never done before in our history, but at the end of it, you'll get a couple of relegations. I'd still take it.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, Tottenham fans would love to have what we've had for the last 10 years.
And there's the shade. That's just what we needed in this sunny day. Let's talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy, shall we, Chris? Because he's lost 19 of the 27 games in charge. It looks like come the 1st of July, we understand at talkSPORT, they might give him the boot. What do you think about that?
Not before time. I mean, we just don't know what's going on at the club. I mean, I think we know more secrets about what's happening at MI5 than we do Leicester at the moment. It's so secretive. I mean, you know, they appoint a manager at the start of the season in Steve Cooper, and, you know, mixed reception. Wasn't going so well, but you've got to remember, when we sacked Steve Cooper, we were 16th. We weren't in the relegation zone. We'd just been told we weren't going to get a points deduction, so that worry was gone. Hardly had enough time to get his feet under the table, and he was out the door. Then we get Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in, who has given us so many records for most losses in a run, you know, most games without scoring a goal, and he's still there. I mean, who's running this club? You know, Chuckles the Clown. I really don't know what's going on. And the fact that he's still there is beyond belief. But I do understand why. And the problem we have with this club at the moment is that they don't talk to us. Not that they have to. It's their club. They can do what they want, the owners. We love him for, obviously, you know, the King Power family for what they've done for us. But it's creating so much toxicity. You know, if they came out and said, look, we're not going to make any decision until the new PSR year because, you know, of the trouble we're in, we'd have said, okay, we get it. You know, we understand. But there's none of that. I got to the point now where I don't care who comes in as long as Ruud van Nistelrooy goes out.
Look, Chris, when Vichai was around, you know, the communication was there, wasn't it? Obviously, Suntop's taken over, and John Ruskin, the director of football, is only sort of between those two. And the fact that neither of them sort of come out and talk, I think it is a bit of an issue, because I think the fans would understand a lot more. But there's a chance here with them not wanting to sack two managers within the same financial year that the lads could be back at pre-season on June the 30th, and Ruud gets sacked on July the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, in fairness, and I get what you're saying, but even under Vichai, they weren't the most open owners that, you know, there are out there. But at the moment, you just anything that, I mean, it's like being in a year-long episode of Coronation Street, because you just don't know what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. And yes, you could have the players back and then a new manager in.
Chris, who do you want to be your manager?
Well, there's the $6 billion question, isn't it? I mean, Sean Dyche is the one that's been linked. Mm-hmm. That would split the fan base a bit like Steve Cooper. Most fans seem to want Danny Roll from Sheffield Wednesday. He's obviously unhappy there. They've got their own problems with obviously their transfer ban and what have you.
Can Leicester afford him in the buyout? It'd be expensive.
5 million, I've been told, which in the grand scheme of things
Shouldn't be a lot.
You know, you're paying 30, 40 million for players. Well, we're not anymore, but you know, it used to be 5 million isn't a lot. It depends what the club want to do, what their plan is. If they've got a plan for, and look, let's be honest with you, if we get a points deduction, we may not go up next season. It may be 2 seasons, like Leeds, you know, which won't be the worst thing in the world. But if the plan is to sort of get us into a position where we can get promoted within a couple of years, because that's what we want. And if we do get promoted, to finish sort of 15th, 16th, 17th, and then move on, Sean Dyche could be your man.
Well, Leicester Director of Football, John Ruskin, has been pushing for Sean Dyche to replace the Dutchman, but club sources have denied the former Burnley boss has been lined up to take over. Chris Forian, thank you so much for coming on.
Chris, go back and kiss that trophy.
Yeah.
I will do, believe you me.
Thanks
for having me on.
Thank you very much.